Oh yeah, I definitely need to get some running boards. Welcome back to Garage Matters. Today, we are going to be installing and doing a review on these '09 running boards for a 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD, so we don't have to use this step stool anymore. Now, let's go ahead and head on inside real quick and let me show you how much I paid for these running boards. Now these were last purchased on July 4th, 2025, and I originally paid $249 for it at the time of the purchase, but right now they have a deal going off where you could save $50. So these are actually, as of today, $199. This is a really not a bad price, and this actually fits 29 to 2025, the Sierras and the Silverados, 1500s up to the 3500s. So I went with these because they were cheaper than going with the OEM ones that you can get from the dealership off the Chevy website. So these over here, $1,000. $1,000, and this was the cheapest one I saw. And let's take a look at this one. For $495 you can get this cheapest one right here, but take a look at it. So this is how it looks like, and for $495 this is a pretty plain and basic, so I wanted to go with something else that looks a little bit more aggressive and off-road. So I went ahead and went with this '09 tubular drop running board. So it says it's a custom fit, so let's go ahead and head back on into the garage and see if this running board right here is going to fit the 2500. Now this does come in a pretty well packaged box. It does have these straps on here as well, but at least it came with the name on the box. Sometimes when you order stuff online, they're knockoffs and they're no names, but at least the company put their name on the box. So a little more. So it does say rust resistant, anti-skidding, easy installation. So with the easy installation right here, hopefully this kit is going to include all the hardware that I'll need to install on this 2500. And well, I guess it also says it's waterproof. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this unboxed, and I'll show you guys what this kit comes with. Now with this box partially open, here we have some hardware, the brackets for the running boards to connect to the frame of the vehicle, and over here we have some other brackets as well too. And down here we do have the running boards down here as well. So once I get these items removed, I'll go ahead and get these running boards unwrapped. But as far as the packaging looks pretty good. I'm not complaining about the packaging because everything is nice and organized, and it does have these styrofoam blocks in here to just kind of help keep everything in place during the shipping process. And here's how they look like. So I left this one wrapped on purpose, but I just kind of placed it underneath where it's gonna go, and it looks like it is going to fit, but we're not going to know until we get it installed. But let's go ahead and take a close-up of this running board. So this running board, it does have a good finish to it. I really like it. It's a non-skid, some kind of non-skid paint on it, but I really like it. And these holes right here, it's going to help drain the water and help keep this running board clean once you're rinsing it off with water. But it is pretty light as well. Let me show you guys how light this is. So this is probably about, I'm gonna say maybe around 10-15 pounds, maybe 15 pounds max, but it's probably around 10 pounds. Check this out, one hand, and we can do a little workout right here. But I can lift this up with one hand. So this is not that heavy, but it is made out of steel, and I think it's gonna work for this truck's application. It's time to go ahead and install these brackets. It appears like there's 4 brackets on each side. And then in here, we do have our hardware bag. So this bag looks like it's gonna be all the hardware that's gonna attach the running board onto these brackets. So I'm not gonna open this one just yet so I don't get these nuts and bolts mixed up. This bag over here, however, this bag seems like it's the bag that we're gonna use to install these brackets onto the frame of the vehicle. Now looking at the instructions here, step 1 tells us to remove all the contents, verify all the parts are free and present from any damage. Alright, so starting on the driver's side, remove any rubber plugs located on the rocker panel on each mounting location. Alright, so we're going to go to step 3. Alright, so these rubber plugs, it looks like we got to remove them. Alright, locate mounting bracket. Okay. Alright, so it looks like once we get these rubber plugs removed, we're going to get the hex screw, a washer, and then go down to here. So 1 washer, no, wait, 2 washers. Looks like 2 washers. Alright, so you have in here, this is a lock washer and then the regular washer. So okay, so the regular washer first and then the lock washer, and then once we get that mounted on, we're just going to repeat step 4 until the remaining brackets are mounted. Alright, so it's pretty simple enough. Alright, so now we're underneath the vehicle. Let me show you guys where I'm at. So I am right underneath here. And once you get underneath here, there looks like there's multiple mounting locations that you can utilize. One right here, one right here, one right here, 2 right here, and then 2 more down here. So it looks like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna utilize this one right here for the front, and then I'm gonna utilize this one for the middle, this one for the middle, and then this one for the rear. So I did get 4 brackets, and these are the rubber plugs that I'm gonna remove. And I'm just gonna use this trim tool removal to stick it underneath this screw right here, this plastic retaining screw, and then it just comes out just like that. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this bottom one. And it comes out just like that. Now these retaining clips, all you gotta do is just push them back in, but I'm not gonna throw these away just yet because I do have the rear liners for the rear wheel well that I want to install. So just in case those rear liners don't come with these push pins, I'm gonna keep this for my next video. Now once you got these 2 caps removed, you're just gonna repeat the same process for the other 3 mounting places. Alright guys, now here comes the moment of truth. We gotta see if these brackets even line up with these mounting holes. So I'm just gonna line them up and see if they even line up. So up here, you can tell that it perfectly lines up, and down here also perfectly lines up as well. So let's go ahead and get the hardware installed onto this bracket. And I'm just gonna use my fingers and go finger tight because I don't want to accidentally cross thread the threads. Alright, so that's gonna be good. I'm gonna get another bolt, lock washer, and flat washer, and then tighten this one down here as well. Now this is finger tight and it looks like everything is fine so far, but I'm not gonna tighten it down until I get the running board installed because I want to make sure that I get this lined up properly. So I'm gonna leave this plate in here so I can adjust it as necessary until we get to the final torque, and then I'll torque everything down once everything is lined up. Now we're just gonna repeat the same process for the other 3 mounting locations. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go in real time with this installation to show you guys that anybody can do this by themselves. So we are installing the second bracket now, and the good thing about having a tall truck is that you can just crawl right underneath it and not have to worry about jacking it up on jack stands. And some of my other vehicles, like my Celica over there on the other side, it's I'm not gonna say a pain in the butt, but the jacking point on it is so far underneath the vehicle that it's kind of a pain in the butt to get that on jacks. But with a tall truck, you don't have to worry about that. Now we're done with number 2. Now let's go ahead and get to number 3. And as you guys can see, this is not taking long at all. Alright. Alright, number 3 is almost done. Alright. Let's go ahead and get number 4 unwrapped. And then put it on here. So we are starting number 4. And this so far seems like it's only taking me like a couple of minutes going in real time to get the rest of these brackets installed. Alright, so now we've got these brackets installed, and you guys can see for yourself that it did not take long at all to get these brackets installed. So let's go ahead and get the running board. We're just gonna set the running board right on top of here and just kind of temp install everything, and then we'll come back around and tighten everything down. Alright guys, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this running board, just set it on top of here, go underneath the vehicle, and then shimmy this in between this running board right here for all of these brackets right here. And if that doesn't make any sense, I'll show you as soon as I'm done what I did, so it'll make more sense to you guys. So I'm just gonna set this up here like this. Alright. And then I'm gonna come back underneath here. Well, I guess I don't have to go underneath, but you can just do it like this. You take this, shimmy this inside of here, and then stick it through the holes down here. And that looks like it's gonna work. Alright. Okay. Alright. Just like that. So let me bring this in closer. Maybe I could get a better camera angle, show you guys exactly what I'm doing. Alright, so tilt this camera up. Alright, now hopefully I can get this on camera for you guys. Alright, here we go. Let me try this again. Alright, I'm gonna take this piece right here. Put it up and underneath here like this, and then come through these bolt holes right here, just like that. And then we're just going to repeat the same process for the next two brackets down here. Let me move this down here, show you guys again exactly what's going on, so you guys can do it in your very own garage as well. We're gonna go from this back side now, but just go like this, and then just line it up with the bolt holes on here, and then it's just gonna look like that. And let me show you guys the back side. And this is the back side right here. So we got one left down here. I'm just gonna go ahead and knock it out real quick. Done. Next thing we need to do is attach the lock washer, the flat washer, and the nut. And then once we got this in place, we can go ahead and tighten everything down. But I'm just gonna install the hardware temporarily. That way we can adjust this running board however way we want it. So this running board, you can adjust it inwards or out. Let me show you. So before you tighten these down, adjust this running board however way you want it, out or in towards the vehicle. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright guys, so we have this running board temp installed, and I've got it pulled all the way out, but I don't know if I like it pulled all the way out, because this bar right here is kind of looks like it needs to go in a little. But let me see how far this running board sticks out from the side. So we'll go down here, and then we'll take a look. So with it, alright, so with it sticking out all the way, it looks like it kind of sticks out just ever so slightly. So let me step into the vehicle and see how it feels like. Now this is with this running board all the way out. Alright, so it seems like I think I like it there, but I'm gonna go ahead and just tuck this in a little, because I think it's gonna look a little bit better tucked in. Just like that. Let me see if this is gonna work as well. So it's tucked in a little, and alright, so I'm getting out of the vehicle. Oh yeah, I think this is still gonna work just as well, having it tucked all the way in. Let me bring this camera in a little bit closer, show you guys what it looks like with this tucked in, because I think it truly looks a whole lot better when you have it tucked in. So when you have it tucked in, you kind of lose that gap in between the frame of the vehicle and this bar up here. So that's what it looks like tucked in. So I think I am going to go ahead and go with this tucked in. Let's take a look back here, and you can kind of see that with it tucked in, it no longer sticks out past the wheels, so it's also tucked inside of the wheels as well too. So I'm gonna go ahead and just crawl back underneath here, and what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and torque all these bolts down to the specified torque settings. And it looks like for down here, this last part, 5 to 7 foot-pounds, but if it's only calling for 5 to 7 foot-pounds, and then for the brackets onto the frame of the vehicle right here, it is calling for 15 to 18 foot-pounds. Now I have a torque wrench, so I'm just going to use my torque wrench and torque it down to the manufacturer's recommended torque specs right here. And let me grab my torque wrench and I'll show you guys how it's done. Now we're just going to go ahead and tighten down these nuts right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of them. But let's go ahead and torque these down. Again, these are 13 millimeters. Grab my torque wrench right here. Alright. Oh, that's still going. Alright, there he goes. Keep going. Alright, that was it. That was 20 foot-pounds. Now, that doesn't feel like a lot, but that's what the manufacturer called for. But considering that we do have 3 more nuts down here that we need to tighten down, I think it's gonna be just fine. Alright, now underneath here, we're at the rear bracket right now, but all I'm doing is just tightening down these 2 bolts right here. Got my 13 millimeter socket. Just gonna tighten it down. Alright. Same thing with this one. Tighten this one down as well too. And I'm just gonna go ahead and snug these to what I think is about 20 foot-pounds, and then I'm just gonna come back around, hit these up with my torque wrench. Alright, so we got a torque wrench right here. Let's go ahead and torque them down. Alright, so we're still turning. Alright, there we go. 20. Get this one down here as well too. Okay. Oh, still going. Alright. Alright. And this rear section is good. I'm not going to show the rest of the brackets on camera, but we're just going to repeat the same steps with the next 3 brackets down the line. Alright. Go in the second row. Alright. So I'm not going to hold on to anything. This looks pretty darn sturdy. So I'm jumping up and down like this on the step. I don't feel it wiggling. It doesn't feel loose. It feels nice and firm. So let's try the first roll. Alright. Alright, same thing. I don't feel any play in it. Alright. Hop out of the vehicle. Steps right here. Boom. Nice, easy step up. Now this step definitely helps out. Before, it was like this. Okay. And, but now, it's like this. Easy step up, into this 2500. Now before I close out this video, I'm gonna go ahead and install the other running board on the other side off camera. Then I'll show you guys how the driver side and passenger side looks like. Alright guys, so let's come around to the passenger side. This is how the passenger side looks like. I also tucked it in, so it's nice and tucked inside of the wheels. And let's take a look at it again. So I think this looks really nice as well on the passenger side. So let's see how it looks like from the front of the vehicle. Alright, so that's how it looks like. And let me get a back up. So overall, I don't think it looks bad at all. I actually like this a lot. The color matches it, and it's still high enough off the ground. So I'm not really worried about ground clearance or anything, but this looks good. Let's see how the other side looks like. This is how the other side looks like. From a distance, it matches the mirrors, the door handles as well. I think this is a great look for this truck. And considering the amount of money I spent on this running board right here, I think it was totally worth it for around 249 bucks online. Everything lined up perfectly. The mounting brackets, the holes on the brackets lined up perfectly to the mount holes on the vehicle as well. I didn't have any issues with installing these running boards on this vehicle. Now I will say that if I wasn't recording this whole video, it probably would have took me maybe like an hour tops to do both sides. 30 minutes on one side and 30 minutes on the other side. And real quick, while I was walking around this vehicle, I noticed something. I just want to show you guys something real quick. So I measured the height of these tires. I think they're 33s or 34s. But take a look at how huge these tires are compared to the tires on my Celica GT4. Take a look at that. The height of these tires comes all the way up to about the door on my Celica GT4. Those are some huge tires that we are running, well, I guess from the factory, for this 2500 HD. And these running boards, once again, I recommend them. I like them. They look good. They're cheap and functional. That's so easy. That's gonna do it this time for Garage Matters. Make sure you join us next time on Garage Matters and hit that like and subscribe button.